within the military itself, it's important to remember, like, we've had tens of thousands of troops in South Korea, and the Army, U.S. Army is the biggest force there, is the largest number of American soldiers are from the U.S. Army. I mean, there's Marines in Japan and Okinawa and so on, but it's U.S. Army that's in Korea. There used to be Marines fought during the Korean War, but anyone who goes through the Army and becomes a top officer and general spends time in Korea, and they all know the geography of Korea. They know the politics of Korea, and they know what a war would mean. And a lot of them, especially older generals who know the Korean War, know what just a terrible, terrible war it was. I mean, America lost, something like 38,000, almost 40,000 Americans were killed. I mean, there was like maybe 3 million Koreans were killed, and few hundred thousand Chinese were killed. But they know what a horrendous war it was, and it's very mountainous, very difficult terrain to fight a war, and so a lot of military people are not excited at all about having a war. And anyone who's a strategic planner in the military, I mean, look how far extended we are now. We're still fighting a major war in Afghanistan, fighting ISIS in Iraq and Syria. There's massive military buildup in the Pacific to encircle China. I mean, a war in Korea would involve, all of the military. And so I think, and when it'd kill tens of thousands, if not millions of people. So a lot of military people understand that. And if you're in the Marines, you're a general like General Mattis was a Marine general. I mean, the Marines had one of their biggest defeats in the Korean War. The Marines were sent, they actually invaded North Korea, and they were sent way north toward the border, and that's when the Chinese entered, and the Chinese encircled the Marines. And many Marines died in North Korea, and they had this amazing withdrawal. They were able to get out of the mountains. It was freezing cold, and they were able to get out and get to a port and get evacuated. But it was it was a terrible ordeal. And so Marines know this, and U.S. people in the military know this, and they know how close Seoul is to the DMZ, and how if there's any if Trump, I mean, there was a Tae Young-ho, who is the highest level defector from North Korea, has been here in Washington this week. And he spoke the other day at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, and he testified at the House Foreign Affairs Committee yesterday. And he said, I mean, he's somebody who, wants a new government in North Korea. He would like to have, a democratic replacement for the Kim Jong-un regime there. But he said if there was he testified this, and he spoke about it quite eloquently, actually, that if there was an attack by the U.S., a preemptive attack, it would result in, many deaths. And, North Korea, he noted all the artillery that North Korea has on the border. So I think a lot of military people are not, would not want a war. If they're ordered to go to war, of course they would. It's their job.
Right.
But I think the problem with Trump is that he has made it very personal with Kim Jong-un,
It's psychological.
Yeah. It's like, and so Kim Jong-un, the whole propaganda machine in North Korea is like, we're under threat from the United States. That's why we have these missiles to protect us and these nuclear weapons to protect us. And then when, Trump actually goes to the UN and makes a speech to the General Assembly and says, if they threaten us, we're going to totally destroy North Korea. That's all Kim Jong-un, all he has to do is show that tape and makes his point. So it just feeds into this image that they have of the United States, ready to when you say totally destroy a country, you're talking about 25 million people. That's genocide. I mean, we're talking about, mass murder, casualties. And so, that's what's dangerous.